All right, folks, welcome again. We are excited to have you for our third and final installment of our webinar series with the Women's and Business Center partnership that we have. First of all, just a quick introduction. I'm Janine. I am a SCORE volunteer. Am also monitoring these webinars as well. For you who may not know what SCORE is, I'm thinking everybody does since you probably came through SCORE to register for this, but just a quick overview. We are a division of the Small Business Administration. We offer free mentoring to anyone that is looking to start a business, has a business they want to grow, has some ideas about changing their business. We're here to help you. We offer these local webinars and workshops, in-person networking events, those types of things. These webinars are typically always free. We do charge for some of them based on the topical areas, but for the most part, we do everything for free for the small business owner. We also have a vast library of online resources that are accessible anytime to anyone, free if you're looking for a template, a checklist, anything like that as you're growing your business or you have questions. You can always go out to that library and download anything that you see for absolutely for free. The Utah SCORE chapter covers all of Utah from St. George to Logan. And we have about 34 volunteers. If you know anyone that is a business owner, business executive, has some experience that they would like to share, we'd love to see more volunteers anytime. You can scan that code, get more information about chapter membership or working as a volunteer for us as a volunteer mentor. With that said, I am excited to introduce this webinar. This is, as I said, the third of three that we have on AI. Our speaker today is Lisa Wallace, and she is located in Vernal, I found out. She is a business advisor and instructor with the WBC of Utah. She is passionate about mentoring women and helping them succeed in business, as well as just providing one-on-one advising and guidance and information to those folks who are trying to grow their business. So, Lisa, thank you so much and welcome, and I will
Thank
turn it
you.
over to you.
Perfect. Let me share my screen and we will be off. Okay, so I know it's going to show the little pink top of my screen, but I'm only on one computer today. So you're just going to have to love the little pink that is at the top instead of but you can still see like the full screen slide, right? Okay,
Mhm.
so I am so excited to teach. Kylie and Lisa know that teaching is my jam. If I could teach women business owners or any business owners all day long, I would do it. I am located in Vernal, Utah, which is just a little teeny tiny corner of the state between Colorado and Wyoming. And I do work virtually. So my clients I serve are statewide, which is really, really fun. I am a one-on-one business instructor and one-on-one business advisor and an instructor. So it's been really fun job for the last couple of years. And so I just wanted to review just a little bit about what you guys have learned if you had signed up for the whole AI thing in the weeks before, because I won't be discussing it necessarily here. And they're really good. So get with SCORE if you want the videos, because they were so good. I went to all of them. So week one, you learned about just how AI can be used in marketing, which is how almost all of us are doing it nowadays, right? Week two, he went into this deep dive of how to use it in HR situations. And so if you need that recording, it was so, so good, so intense. I have to go back and rewatch it to learn even just a little bit more. And today we are going to talk about the ethics of using AI in your businesses. And so our agenda will be a little bit like we'll go over AI ethics, using it responsibly, future trends, and I'll throw in some tools and resources as we go along because I love tools and resources as a small business owner, which I am as well. And I know you all probably too. Okay, so first of all, with any business, I assume you are all some kind of business owners or work in business. Every good business starts with a good, solid mission statement. I say this all the time in the classes I teach. It is like your moral compass, what your purpose is, who you're serving, what are you doing, why are you doing it? And when it comes to ethics, this mission statement is going to be huge in helping you decide, well, it's ethical, or I mean, it's legal, but is it ethical? And so I want you to all open up your mission statements if you have them close by. And in fact, I would love to hear some in the chat just because that's fun for me. And so if you know what your mission statement is, put it in the chat. I would love to hear it. I know sometimes it takes a second to open up your mission statement. For me, I'm like, oh, where can I find it? Which folder did I put it in? Sometimes I have it off the top of my head, and sometimes I don't. With the Women's Business Center of Utah, our mission is to help support women entrepreneurs across the state become more successful in business. But that isn't it, not it word for word. But basically, that is our mission. So I would love to hear what your mission is and more specifically what your values are. Because it's these values that you have that help you decide, well, it's legal, but is it ethical for your business? Anyone brave enough to share their mission statement? Okay, then we'll go on. So, what is AI ethics? So, AI ethics is the practice of using technology responsibly so that the tools you are using in your business, the AI tools you're using in your business, they support your mission, which is why you should have your mission statement pulled out. Support people's privacy, like your customers who want them to trust you. You want to make sure that you are protecting their privacy. It is avoiding unfair treatment in a lot of different ways and to keep the human touch where it matters most. So these are the things we'll kind of talk about today. Oh, goodness. Okay, so how are you all currently using AI? And this is where I really do need you to put in the chat, how are you using AI today? Yeah, for research and ideas. I use it for research. Thank you. Um, what other ways do you use AI? Accounting, messaging for opt-in and follow emails. Carol, that's great to improve your processes. Thank you, Eden. Um, composing marketing information. Oh my gosh, I love using it to compose marketing information. I use it for that too. Thank you so much. Um, so these are all great ways to use AI. And so I want you to think of um, how you're using it in your information and knowledge management, how you're using it in customer service. Oh, Jose says you make business plans, and etc. Oh my gosh, it's so good for making business plans, for sure. I want you to look at your website and development maintenance, administration, content creation, graphic designs. Are you using it for IT support? For e-learning, do you have any e-learning classes, digital marketing, virtual assistants? And I know sometimes it's hard to even think of all the things you use in business. Do they even involve AI? I know me as a business owner, sometimes I'm like, oh, is AI even part of that? And so don't you worry, I created for you a downloadable PDF. So let me put that in the chat for you to look at and um, use as a guide to our class today. Let me go to the chat. Do any of you walk yourselves through out loud what you are supposed to be doing? So go to the chat. Downloadable PDF. It is called AI Ethics 101 PDF. Okay, so everyone can open that up if you would like to. But these are all different kinds of tools and technologies that use AI. They're kind of fun because um, not only you can see, oh, I actually am using that, and oh, it does use AI, you can also say to yourself, oh, this would be really good in my business. And so it's just kind of a fun guide and tool for you to see how AI is being used in your business. Okay, so the next thing I want to know, I'm going to kind of zoom in on these. What are your favorite AI tools? Oh, so that's a question. What are your favorite AI tools? Period. No, question mark. What are your favorite question mark? Um, I love ChatGPT. I love it. I use it all the time for everything. Perplexity, I haven't heard of Perplexity. That sounds like a good one. ChatGPT. What is a QI tool? Um, I don't know what you are referring to. Oh, AI tool? Did I, does it look funny? DeepSeek and ChatGPT, AI type, for sure. DeepSeek and ChatGPT seems like these are all sums that are across the board. And they're so good. Such good things to help your business. So thank you for sharing those. So now you know, and if you've downloaded the PDF, I want you to be looking at it in relation to your business and the ethics of your business as we apply ethics in action. So there's going to be a few questions I want you to ask yourself throughout the rest of this presentation. You have a list, you have your mission statement, you have a list of the things that you are using in your business, and we want to ask ourselves throughout this presentation, would I trust this tool with my mom's personal information? Hopefully you like your mom. Maybe you'd be like, yeah, give it to her. Let all those spammers come. But no, would I trust this tool with my mom's personal information? Does this tool help me serve my customers better or just faster? This was a huge one for me. How can I preserve the human touch while scaling smart? Um, Dave, you are asking where that link is. I just posted it above to everyone. It's just a PDF you can click on. Do you want me to grab it again? Post it again for you. Um, and then as we are talking, I want you to write notes on what changes you need to make to use AI in a way that matches your company values. So I know from the weeks before they talked about this a little bit, but we're going to talk about it again. The AI is not neutral. It's not this neutral system that is always 100% ethical and great. It is easy to think of it as an unbiased machine, but it's not. AI reflects the data um, that it's given. And if the original data contains bias or stereotypes or gaps, AI is going to carry those forward. For example, if an email assistant was trained mostly on, like an AI email assistant, was trained mostly on responses from tech executives, it might default to a language that feels really impersonal, overly assertive for your audience, and it might not be the way you want to respond to all emails. So when we say AI isn't neutral, we mean that its suggestions and decisions are shaped by the patterns it has seen before, not by what's fair or right. And that's why human judgment is still essential in anything that goes into AI. So that's one of the risks. But just remember, AI is just the car. You are the driver. You're driving it, you're programming it, you're telling it where to go. And so you are the human touch. And if you give that right information to AI, it can be such a valuable resource. Okay, the second thing we want to talk about is look at your list of all the things you use in AI. Um, is it using your customers' data in a way that you'd want it to? Tools are powerful because from the data, um, we get so much information as business owners, but did we get permission to use that data? Who gave permission for it to be used? So when we use AI to gather or analyze customer data, we have to be crystal clear. Would customers be okay with how we are using their information? If we wouldn't want it done to us, we don't want it done to them. So, like a real world example, using an AI as a CRM that scrapes social media and autofills customer profiles without the customer ever opting in, it sounds really efficient. It sounds like, oh my gosh, they know exactly what I want. But if they never opted into having their social media scanned so that you got a better idea of who they were as a person, you would lose their trust really fast. And so, just a small tip for any business owners, there are tools that you can explicitly follow. It's called the GDPR. It's the United Kingdom's, the UA's way of monitoring social or AI use. And California has one too called the CCPA guidelines. And they always, in both of them, offer opt in when collecting personal data, especially with newsletters, chatbots, personal histories. So it basically, in plain terms, um, it focuses on consistent control, transparency, and things like that, because it could be legal, but it might not be ethical. Dave says, I wonder why companies aren't training workers on AI to make them faster and keep human intelligence, but instead just replacing them with AI, which just summarizes existing solutions that isn't capable of using logic. Dave, that is such a good question. Why aren't companies training workers how to use AI? I think it's such a powerful tool and it really does need human oversight. So I am on your page too. Thank you for commenting on that. Also, using AI, especially to like hiring tools and lending, and it is like a bias in, bias out. A human has to be the filter. You cannot have AI be the filter of things like that because AI doesn't make decisions from a clean slate. Once again, it reflects the data it was trained on. And if that data had bias of racial, gender, age, location, it shows up in the output. So that means if you're using AI to screen resumes and improve applications or even write job descriptions, you could be amplifying bias without even knowing it. So a real world example is Amazon. They scrapped an AI hiring tool that downgraded resumes with words like women or women's or women's chess club because it had been trained on a decade of mostly male resumes. And so the AI tool just kept like kicking out anything that had to do with women. And so for small business owners, you have to review your outputs really critically. You have to use AI to draft, but not decide on real things that involve real humans, especially when it affects their livelihood. So look at the tools that you are using. Are they biased? Are you training them accidentally to be biased? That's one of the things you can be looking at. And this one's a funny one. It actually happened to me recently. Transparency and accountability, knowing why AI made the decision it did. One of the scariest things about AI is it can act like a black box. You ask it a question and it gives you an answer. But if it cannot tell you why or where it got that answer from, um, you're making the decisions that impact people's businesses and not your people. It's fine if you're generating like blog titles or things like that, but when it's affecting people's lives or the information your company is putting out, you want to make sure you know where that information comes from. So the other day, so I'm a writer. I am an author by my by love, and I've been writing this book about chronic illness and research, doing a lot of research, and I've been using AI to help me research what I know a lot of you have been doing. And I asked it to give me some data on chronic illness in the US. And it does. It gives me this amazing data. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. This is so useful. This can go into my book. But then when I asked it, can you give me references to where these came from? It seriously had the funniest response. Oh, I see you wanted real facts. Let me see if I can find those resources for you. Um, and so if I would have just used what they had given me, it would have been wrong. It wouldn't have been like real scientific data or research data. It would have been just what ChatGPT thought was a good answer, right? And so that does go back to how I asked it the question a little bit. It does go back to um, making sure that you ask it for real references and resources and things like that. So you, as the business owner, can double check. Other real world examples, if a lending algorithm denies a loan to like qualified customers and the business owner can't explain why, or the lending institution can't explain why it denied the loan, you shouldn't be using that to make those kind of decisions. Without clear reasoning, there's no way to challenge or correct it. And so, if you can't explain it, and if ChatGPT or whatever else you're using can't explain why it made the decision, don't use it. Does anyone else have stories like that where you've used AI and been like, oh my gosh, this is completely wrong? I would love to hear those stories. So put them in the comments because it's so much more fun hearing from more people than just me. So, once again, we talked about all those kind of bias, transparency. Um, oh, Randy Lopez says Perplexity gives references. I love that. I have not used Perplexity, so I'm going to have to put it in my things to try out because references and the resources are ideal, especially if you're writing, trying to be like the expert in your field and you used AI and they give you wrong information. That's horrible. So we always want to make sure that AI aligns with your mission and your customer care. We always want to check for outputs and bias and information because AI doesn't always tell the truth. Oh, DeepSeek does as well give references. That's awesome, Rhonda. Thank you for sharing that. Um, AI doesn't always tell the truth. Sometimes it reflects harmful assumptions, which is horrible, especially if you are trying to be, if your values are to be an honest, reputable company, right? So, for example, you always want to align your values with whatever system you're using. And you ask ChatGPT to write a customer service email that includes the phrase like, as a busy mom, you'll love how fast our product works. But you didn't say that the customer was a mom, that assumption might alienate or stereotype your audience. If you just ask it to write a customer service email. Now, if you have trained it well to say, hey, my target audience is busy moms, that would be okay. But if that is not your target audience, it wouldn't really align with your values. Um, so a better practice is always scan for unintentional bias in gender, in race, in lifestyle, in ability, and also always verify the facts like prices, stats, legal information. Um, so AI is kind of like your draft writer, but you as a business owner have to be the final editor or hire an editor as I do because I don't like looking to I don't like editing. It's not my jam. Let me be the AI writer, right? Um, And always use disclaimers. If AI is being used writing customer service emails and responses, add a disclaimer. Say, hey, AI was used in writing this answer for you. Um, the AI is talking on your behalf. Customers should know. So if your website chat widgets to AI to answer like facts, one customer can ask a nuanced question about a return and AI gives the wrong information. We all know we like to talk to humans. We like to chat with humans. There's nothing that's more, to me, is when I get on the chat and it references you to the website that explains how to do it, because usually I have already read how to do it and it's still not working, right? And then so you just go round in circles because you can never get a human, because AI is just trying to send you to the right web page to answer your question. Um, so a better practice is to be like, hi, I'm an AI assistant here to help you with some basic questions. For anything specific, let me get a real human and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. This not only protects your customer trust, it reduces their frustration. And we do not want to frustrate our customers. We want them to come back to us. We want to have good customer service. We want them to know that we are the ones that they can rely on. Um, and also avoid any using automations for empathy. Um, if somebody has something horrible happen in their lives, you do not want AI responding, hey, I'm so sorry your loved one passed away. You want to do that in person. You want to do that with handwritten letters, human compassion, especially if it's sensitive situations. So say your coaching business, a client messages to say like their dog passed away. My dog passed away a couple weeks ago. It was really sad. And you consider using AI to write a reply, but those responses will always come out flat and awkward. So a better practice is a short, sincere, human written message. I am so sorry for your loss. Please take the time you need. I'm sending love. Um, that's always better than a polished AI version of a sympathy note. So what we're doing is we're making AI part of our toolbox, but never our voice. And even if you can train AI to talk a lot like you, which you can, it doesn't mean it should replace you and your personal style. So say you're asking AI to write a weekly newsletter and you send it out without editing it, and the tone doesn't actually match your usual warmth or your humor or your sassiness, your customers are going to start to feel disconnected. They feel it in what they're reading. And so, for a better practice, use it to brainstorm, outlining it first or creating drafts, but always revise it in your own voice. Let it enhance your ideas, not erase them. And if you're still feeling a little uncomfortable with AI sounding like your voice, last week he talked really a lot about how you can make AI sound more like you by using the talk into it feature. So go back and listen to last week's because that's kind of fun. And then, of course, still handwrite the things or whatever. Um, So another thing with that is you can use AI to streamline your listings, especially if like a Shopify seller or an Etsy seller. Yes, absolutely. Use it to streamline your listings, but then maybe write a personal thank you note for them using your product or your service. So you can use AI and still keep the personal touch, which is what we want to do. So I want to know, what is a core business value you have that AI could undermine? So, what are your core business values or your mission, and how could AI reflect them or undermine them? I would love to hear your responses in the chat. It's kind of a big one. Accountability. Douglas, tell me a little bit more about that. So, accountability is your core value. How can AI undermine that? So while you're thinking about that answer, it's either the UK's guidelines or California's guidelines. It does say that you cannot blame AI for a mistake they made. So if you do something horrible, but it was done through AI, you as the business owner are responsible for that. You can't like pass off to it being an AI mistake. So, um, accountability for sure. You cannot say, "Oops, sorry, that was AI." Are there any other core business values and how could AI reflect or undermine them? A personal touch could be diluted with AI responses. It absolutely could be diluted with AI responses. And Douglas says, well, that's one of the five. Thanks for helping with that. I couldn't think of at the moment. That's great, Douglas. And that's totally fine. I know in my own personal businesses, one of my core values is to hearten, like to uplift people, right? Uplift people. Sometimes you can't do that with just writing a note to them. Sometimes you need to get on your phone and leave a message to like connect in a different way. So I have learned that, yeah, AI can help draft maybe what you want to say as an outline, but sometimes I need to like get on the phone, record a video, send them a little message that can help uplift them in their current situation. And so, thank you so much for those answers. So usually when I am teaching business classes with the Women's Business Center, I make you guys all go into breakout groups and chit chat about like what you're using and is it working well and how it could actually be detrimental to your business or good for your business. So if you have anything like that, I would love those questions in the comments. If you have any questions about, hey, I'm using this, is it okay? Um, Please ask your questions. Okay, so now we're going to talk about a little bit about what's next in trends that can kind of change the game. So AI plus personalization can be hyper targeted marketing, but at what cost? Um, Rhonda says AI can help with organization and efficiencies, but it cannot replace ingenuity. Oh my gosh, that is so true. So true. Thank you so much, Rhonda. In fact, I was just talking to my boss this morning, my director. So there's Lisa who, hey, boss Lisa, who's on here. And then there's a lady above her name's Anne Marie. And she was talking to me about some ideas. And she's like, and I was using um, Gemini and AI, and I'm like doing these ideas, trying to find ideas for this company I want to start. And um, they're giving me all this feedback and it's so great. But she's like, but then when I was sleeping, I had this breakthrough idea that none of them even gave me. And then she starts talking about this breakthrough idea that she had, her own ingenuity um, that she had. And it's so true. ChatGPT would have never given her that because it's trained on what's already out there, right? It's not trained on like necessarily new concepts. Well, it could be, I guess, but in her situation, that's a perfect example of it cannot create what you can create and the genius of who you are. Um, have any of you read The Big Leap, the book The Big Leap? Oh my gosh, it's one of my favorite. It talks about how all your experiences in life, you probably are doing excellent, living in your zone of excellence. But to live in your zone of genius takes this huge leap. And I imagine getting from your zone of excellence to getting your zone of genius probably isn't going to be something AI does for you. Personal opinion. But what are some future trends that could change the game? AI personalization, hyper targeted marketing, which always already does a little bit, but at what cost? Um, Automations in service industries like chatbots, Chatbots, scheduling, invoicing. I love using AI to do scheduling. It is amazing. And they am reminding my people of their appointment times. It takes so much back and forth off my plate, right? But what if I used that same information and started the information they put in to book an advising session with me? What if I started using it to market to them without them ever even wanting that necessarily? That's probably not very ethical. Legal, maybe. Ethical, not part of who we are. Generative AI in design, content creation, and product development. This one is huge in the writing field. So, like I said, I'm an author. I love writing. Um, but it is huge right now in if you are in that author world about AI writing stories. First of all, I don't think they're very good. Second of all, using like Midjourney or ChatGPT to create images that are so closely related to the professionals they were trained on, it's almost like they stole the work. That could be huge, right? It could be a trend that is not so great. So you don't want to be doing that. You want to really focus on your mission statements, your values. Desiree says AI chatbots and phone bots are a waste of time. It is disrespectful. In fact, it's rude and tells me the company executives don't care about their customers or employees. Desiree, I love that because chatbots drive me crazy. Phone bots, I hate. I hate it. Just give me the person I'm talking to, right? Um, I'm with you. Thank you so much for sharing. They never have an answer. The link you pasted isn't of the Canva URL you are showing. Oh, that is true. It is not of the Canva URL I am posting. I will send this slide deck to Score after I'm done. I tried downloading it this morning and it wouldn't download. And you can have it later. You can have it with all my notes as well. I'm happy to give those to you. I just have to get my computer to download it.
Yeah, we just, Lisa, just really quick, SCORE will send out a PDF of these slides to everyone that attended.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we want to make sure. Oh, other trends that could change the game is voice and vision, AI that sees and hears and has accessibility and surveillance. That could change the game. It could be a thing. So we always want to watch for any regulations that might be put in place. AI human collaborations, always call to actions when you are emailing your subscribers or your customers. Always stay curious about AI news. You can follow things like MIT Tech Review or the algorithm newsletters, things like that, to know what are the up and coming trends and changes. Um, So one thing about AI and personalization marketing is we are entering an age, and we have been here for a minute, where tailored ad emails and products suggestions feel so precisely like us, it's almost creepy, right? It's almost manipulation. So your email campaign knows your customers just by browse because they browse like hiking boots and now bam, all of a sudden they're getting all these things for hiking boots. You guys have been there before, right? It could be great for conversion, but what are we trading off for the level of insight? Um, are our customers still going to trust us if they know they're just like stalking us? So a pro could be like you get higher engagement, better ROI, more relevance for the customers, but over surveillance is a thing that people feel watched all the time. It could be an ethically gray area. So make sure, once again, that you are looking at what your mission is and what your values are, because once again, legal versus ethical. And just to be transparent, always offer opt-ins to give people control of how their data is used. And that is in a lot of systems, it's already in place, which is great. I love automation in service industries like scheduling, invoicing. I think it is so helpful. It helps reclaim your time. Helps automate, especially if you're a solopreneur, if you're doing everything yourself. Handling the scheduling and simple customer questions can be really good. Sending invoices, these are available right now and they're really affordable. Um, for example, like a local salon can use AI-powered scheduling and reminders, and it reduces like no-shows by like 40%. I know when we do scheduled reminders, it reduces my no-shows by so much. Um, so make sure you're choosing automations that save you time without costing you customer care. Always keep human fallback as an option. Um, Once again, generative AI in design, content, and product development. Generative AI tools like ChatGPT, Midjourney, DALL-E, they're awesome. They're revolutionary. Um, like having logos and blog posts and product mockups. It's now possible to generate them in minutes, but just because you can doesn't mean you should skip the human input. So always be careful about the originality and the copyright. Some AI outputs look great, but like I said before, they infringe on the original artist's work. And you don't want to be the kind of person who's stealing ideas from other people. You want to be the genius that's creating them yourself. So don't let generative tools dilute your brand voice or your aesthetics. Use it for drafting concepts, but you always have the final say. And then voice and vision. AI that sees and hears. Accessibility and surveillance. Like, I do not love AI watching me all the time, right? So AI that hears and sees and acts like a voice assistant or facial recognition, it can help, especially in accessibility ways, but it also raises surveillance concerns. Um, is the mic always on? Who's storing the video or the feed? Where it could be awesome if it sees, if I was blind, my friend who has loss of vision, she has a thing that tells her what color things are, which is pretty awesome. Um, so that could be a good thing, voice and vision for accessibility issues. But we want to make sure it's being used appropriately. Captioning tools are amazing, especially for live sessions. It is really, really helpful for me when I have a hearing impaired client. I know that Google will do captions as we talk, and so I'll meet them on Google Meet for talking. Image or and app and apps like that that just help them that way. Image to text apps for customers with dyslexia or neurodivergence, they could be amazing. Security camera using facial recognition could flag someone incorrectly. Smart assistants might capture sensitive conversations. So, just a small business tip to choose the tools that enhance access without compromising consent or safety, right? And AI isn't just being built by big tech companies anymore. There are so many AI tools are emerging, making it so much easier and faster to innovate, but also harder to regulate. So there are some governments that are stepping in with new rules and data and transparency and accountability. So always keep your eyes on the trends. What is in your state or in your country? What is legal, because you would hate to be doing something illegally. Um, so just a small business tip, get curious, not overwhelmed. Just follow the conversations. If you want to know what your AI or rules are in your state, you can look it up. I was looking up some yesterday, and Colorado actually has one that says you cannot use AI to replicate a person's voice without them knowing, which is kind of fun. I wouldn't want somebody to replicate my voice and act as me that way. So, as the business owner, just be the informed leader. And always, once again, would I trust this tool with my mom's personal information or your own personal information if you don't like your mom? Um, does this tool help me serve my customers better or just faster? How can I preserve the human touch while scaling smart? And what changes do I need to make to use AI in a way that matches my company values? So I would just like to hear from you. Is there anything in here, any questions that you're like, oh, actually, I do need to change this to follow my company values. I would love for some of you to share your experiences or aha moments, if you had any. Who has time to read the fine print and privacy policies? The ones I have read are written in legalese and contain loopholes that favor the company, not the customer. If the customer doesn't agree, they don't get service. Are privacy policies enacted voluntarily or are they mandates? Oh, that's a good question. I am not a lawyer. I do not have the answer for that. Who has the answer for Desiree? I oftentimes will put small print into ChatGPT and tell it to make it explain it like he would a kindergartner. I think that is the CYA rule. Gotcha. Any other questions or experiences? Okay, then here's some takeaways for the road. Um, one, ethics is about people, not just policies. It's about your customer. So always think of them first. Takeaway number Oh, wait. I have more to say on this. At the end of the day, ethics isn't just about checking a box or keeping up with compliance. It's about people. It's about protecting their trust, their dignity, choosing to lead with integrity, even when no one's watching. AI is powerful, but it is not wise. And that's your job. As a small business owner, you have the gift of proximity. You know your customers by name. You're the ones that shake their hands. You are the ones that answer their emails. So every time you choose how to use AI, you're not just making a tech decision, you're making a people decision. So lead with your values. Stay human at the helm because the future of business isn't just AI powered, it's ethically guided and human led and heart centered. So Michelle says she uses ChatGPT to review her website and offer suggestions. It was a good review. Michelle, I have done that too, and it has been awesome. It's been awesome. I also actually have it review my manuscripts when I write manuscripts to find errors. But once again, I've trained it very, very well up until this point, so it can do a good job at finding things. But yeah, reviewing the website is really fun. Um, Align AI with your values. I know I've talked about that over and over and over again. Um, what are your values? What is your mission? Everything starts there at that core. Everything in your business should be about your values, not just what's trending. Trends will come and go. What's flashy today is not going to be flashy tomorrow. It will probably be outdated. But your values, those are always going to be your compass, always for your business. It's really easy to get swept up in what everyone else is doing, um, especially with AI, automating faster, scaling bigger, cutting corners. But just because you can doesn't mean you should. The right AI tools should amplify what you already stand for, not override it. So don't let the trends, um, don't chase them. Build something that lasts. Let your values be the filter. So every tool you adopt, every shortcut you take still sounds like you, serves like you, and honors the people you built your business to help. Just the other day, I was judging at an entrepreneurial pitch competition, and there was another judge there who I hadn't ever met before, even though he lives in our tiny community. He has just recently moved here. But he was talking about the business owner he works for, who's really well known in the community for construction. And he says he just talked about how when he asks you a question, when he asks, like, hey, how are you? He's like, he really listens. He's like this 87-year-old guy. And he's like, you can tell he cares. AI will never replace that. He will never replace the 87-year-old guy who actually listens, asks how you are, and cares about you, right? Okay. Takeaway number 3. The future isn't just AI powered, it's human guided. AI is just the engine, but you're still the drivers. The tools are going to keep evolving and they're going to be faster and smarter, more capable every day. But the direction, where you're going with that, that still comes from you. It still comes from your judgment, your empathy, your lived experience, from the questions we ask and the values we bring to the table. The future of business belongs to those who don't just use AI, but they guide it and they train it. And like I said, last week he gave a really, really good presentation on how to train your AI. Um, you want to infuse it with purpose because when you lead with your heart and then let tech follow you, you create something far more powerful than automations. You create impact. Cassandra says, I use AI to help with competitive analysis and value propositions, but I check how the prompts I write are used, and I ensure that any discriminators or proprietary information is not in the prompts that are in a public space or used to train AI. I love that, Cassandra. It is really, really a powerful tool, and I love that you are putting your own values and checks in place. That's exactly what AI is for. So, last slide. The future of AI isn't just about what it can do, it's about what you choose to do with it. Let your values lead, let your people matter, and then let the technology follow your example. I love that last line because I feel like it's like what a mom would say about like to her kids about their friends, let your friends follow your example. But it's now let your technology follow your example. And with that, um, thank you for coming to our presentation. And I'm going to turn it back over to Score.
All right. Thank you, Lisa. That was wonderful. Thank you. There's a lot of information there. We appreciate it so much. Again, attendees, you'll get a copy of the PDF of the files, and you can find this recorded webinar on our website in about 7 to 10 days or so. So again, thank you. And Lisa and Kylie from the Women's Business Center, I'm going to let you unmute just quickly and thank you again for helping sponsor this. So I'll let you speak for a bit.
Hi, everybody. It's good to see you all today. Yeah, we're here with the Women's Business Center, and we've really appreciated this partnership with SCORE. This is the second 3-part series that we've done with them. And if you need any help with advising or training, we'd love for you to reach out to us. You can check us out on our website at wbcutah.org or on social media at wbcutah. But we hope to do one of these with SCORE in the future because they've been amazing.
Yeah, we will. We are waiting. We're ready anytime. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And thank you again, Lisa, for all of your good advice and guidance. Thank you.
Of course, I love teaching. It was an honor to be with you all today. So I hope to see you all soon.
Hey, thanks, everybody.